The Weinberg Quintet is a very dramatic work, and in a lot of ways it has the scope of a tragedy. But I wanted to end the season finale on an up note, and I was thinking what would really work with that and make sense. And I decided to pair it with the Mendelssohn Octet, which is one of the happiest, most joyous pieces of chamber music. There's a deeper connection. At first glance, you would think Mendelssohn, 19th century romantic composer, and a happy work has nothing to do with this Weinberg Quintet that was written under very difficult life circumstances in 1944. Mendelssohn was of Jewish origins. His family was a very important Jewish family. His grandfather was a philosopher who really encouraged Jews to leave the ghetto, to speak German, to read German, to write in German. And his son, who was Mendelssohn's father, became one of the most successful bankers and a very great banking family in Europe. And Felix and his sister Fanny, who was older than him and a wonderful composer herself, were brought up in this incredibly enlightened atmosphere of the first generation to feel that Jews could enter European life and live in an assimilated way. He created this historic moment by doing the first concert performance of Bach's St. Matthew Passion, and he's credited with much of the Bach revival. So he's an incredibly important European composer, and this is Jews entering the European stage in a way. And then it tells the story, because then we have Weinberg about 100 years later. So it's a complex story, but I think it's always interesting to hear the music through this bigger lens of what were these composers' lives and how do their lives relate to what our lives are today. Because in a lot of ways, Mendelssohn's life was the beginning of a kind of modern, assimilated life that so many of us live today, no matter what our religious backgrounds are. And that whole experiment, that whole optimistic program ran into something truly tragic with World War II. And these are still issues that we're dealing with today. How do we balance identity and being part of a heterogeneous, mixed society? How do we work those things out? And I think this musical program brings something to that question, as well as being just absolutely great music.